Hello and welcome. My name is Mike Mainland, and I'm the coordinator of Human Services Foundations at both the Brantford and Kitchener campus. I'm going to use this video to give a bit of an introduction to what you could expect if you were to take this program, and to also go over kind of the idea of how this fits into people's developmental path long term. I'm asked to describe Human Services Foundations to people. I'd like to focus on these three key areas. So if you were to take this program, we would be focusing on upgrading your academics. Okay, so that means everything from how you take notes, how you read academic papers, how you do research, how you do presentations, how you prepare for tests, how you deal with presentation anxiety, managing things like sleep and stress and um, finances, all the things that are kind of key to success, not just as a student, but as a human being, as an emerging professional and academic. At the same time, we're using this program to also help you adjust to college in general and learn how to access the systems and use the library and use the kind of learn how to do professional research. All right, and that ties with this third point too, is the whole purpose of this program is to help you in your career deliberation. And deliberation means making a choice, but making an informed choice based on evidence, right? And based on a body of knowledge. So the idea here is to get in some time to explore and look at different potential options before you're overly committed. You might want to work with kids with autism and do some kind of support work with animals or something and think that social work's the way to do that, and then do a project on therapeutic recreation and realize that that's really the field for you. Okay, so the program is designed to give people the opportunity to explore and kind of think through what it would be like to actually be in those professions and make sure that there's a good fit between you and your academic and vocational or employment-based path. Since this video is being prepared specifically for this virtual tour at Conestoga College, I wanted to kind of focus on what the key, as someone that's the coordinator and teaches in the program and has for a long time, what do I think HSF is? Right, of course it's Human Services Foundations, but what does that mean? What is at the heart of this program, at the essence of this program? And I think it sums it up by viewing HSF as a talent development program. Let's just be honest, sometimes for whatever reason, maybe high school didn't go the greatest, maybe you've been out of school for a while, maybe you need some work on developing your writing skills or your confidence with public speaking, or maybe you want to get into the helping profession, but you're unsure and you need to develop maybe some of the interpersonal behavior and confidence and professionalism and all those kind of things. All those things are things that within our program we view as developmental variables, things that can be changed. There's this intentional, very strategic and on purpose focus on development, not just academically. Focus on engaging the whole student. And that's what I was kind of saying, is this idea that, yeah, it's great that you're going to learn how to write better, but at the same time, it's like some of the other things like time management and stress management and, you know, learning about responsibility and taking ownership, and all these things develop a solid steel character that's very important moving forward. Okay, and this is this idea of multi-dimensional or all kinds of levels at the same time, and that's actually where some of the beauty of this developmental potential lies, is that it's not just about, it's what happens when you start reading the textbook better and taking better notes and preparing for the test better and being more mentally calm during the test and getting sleep the night before. It's this multi-dimensional preparation is the kind of term I want to be kind of leaving you with as the key word for this thing, this whole program, a multi-dimensional preparation for future academics and professional pathways. And I think the number one thing I would want to share to another student looking at this potential program is our students tend to have success getting into their next thing. And I'll end this video kind of talking about what the regular or most common next steps after HSF are. But in general, I think it is very important to say that basically one of the things that gives this program its relevance is that we have a demonstrated track record of taking students, developing students, and helping them get into the program they're aiming at, assuming, of course, that the student shows up and puts in the work. Okay, so for this slide, I wanted to kind of address some questions that are common at open houses. I've done tons of these. This is my first one virtual, but these questions always seem to come up, and for obvious reasons, right? So a lot of times a parent or a potential future student will want to know about the specific length of the program. This is a 2-term program. So that means it goes from September to mid-December, and then January to mid-April. Or the only other scenario is sometimes students won't start in September, they'll start in December. They'll start in January, and it'll go January until mid-April and then May until mid-August. Okay, so it's 2 terms regardless, 8 months regardless. The purpose of this program, these 3 things really go together. This idea of developing the student, developing all these multidimensional aspects I've been talking about, while the student is getting a chance to explore all these options, and then that deliberation piece is really huge. This idea that it's not just about showing them all these different potential futures, it's about helping decide what makes sense for you. How do we start moving you towards that? What are the logical steps of progression? How do we do it in a way that actually makes sense to your living situation, to all these other factors that sometimes we don't take into account when we envision a future career in isolation. I'm trying to contextualize this and say, how is this going to make sense within your overall life? Well, your overall life, but your overall life plan. Okay, so again, we're going to really be focusing on how this fits into your life plan in this course. And while it's a kind of program aimed at addressing all these kind of things specifically, it's also individualized at a certain degree, because what you need is going to be a little bit different than the next student specifically. Okay, and then the last thing everybody always wants to know is the courses, which is very obvious why people would want to know that. And so I'm going to just do a full slide on that right now. Okay, I'm going to do this really quick because we want to keep these videos around 10 minutes. So I'm just going to go through quick this idea, though, that there's basically 2 levels in this course, right? So level 1 is either going to be in September or start in January, depending on when you start. And you take level 1 and then level 2. So in level 1, you have a college reading and writing course. You have Enhancing Student Success, which is a course I teach where we go over all those important study skills and also kind of personal development skills. Interpersonal behavior is also about personal development and about interpersonal development, how we act professional, how we conduct ourselves in work environments. Okay, career exploration is a class really directed towards getting you to start to do some assignments and some work around what you want to do when you're done this program. What's your long-term goal? What would it actually be like working in that field? Okay, a mathematics course, a developmental psychology course that I'll teach, which is looking at how our brain and how our psychology in general changes as we age and as we get older, as we develop. Then in the second course, you'll take 6 other courses. You'll take presentation skills. You'll take social issues, which is kind of a sociology related course. You'll take group dynamics, which is looking at how to be successful in team environments. A course on diversity, a course on human services practices. So in that one, you'll be looking at learning some specific skills that are really relevant once you get into the workforce. And then finally, an elective. So you have one choice in second term, and which course you take is going to be dependent largely on what your next step is. So just to give you a heads up, say you wanted to take the Bachelor of Community and Criminal Justice, you would need to take a second math for that. You don't need to worry about that right now. It's a second term selection that you have to make. And if you're interested in taking this program, I can certainly help you when the time comes to do that. Okay, so it's basically 6 courses per term. So once students have completed HSF, I wanted to give you kind of a bit of an idea of where students often go. Now they can go in a lot of different directions, but a lot of our students have went places like social service worker program, recreation and leisure, early childhood development, PSI, educational assistant program. Those are all college diploma programs. Also towards some of the college degree programs like the Bachelor of Early Learning or the Bachelor of Community and Criminal Justice. Some of our students go to university, oftentimes University of Waterloo or Laurier, and then a number of our students enter directly into the workforce. Okay, so I'm getting kind of close to my time limit, but I want to recommend, if you're a prospective student and you want to check out what it would be like, that you go and look at these virtual tours. If you pause the video, you can either use your QR reader on your phone and go over that little symbol there and it'll take you straight to it, or you can plug in this link. And it's a really cool kind of clickable, interactive map of the campus where you can kind of look around, and I'd invite you to check out the library and check out the student rec centers, and if you're interested in, if you're in the Brantford campus, to do the same. Okay, it's really neat, and it gives you a way to kind of look around a bit. Okay, so thanks for taking the time to watch this video, and I just wanted to have this last slide with a little bit of information about who I am and how to get a hold of me, and please reach out if you have any questions. All right, take care.